Hello and welcome back to another game of Transport Fever 2. This is Jason with CasualT Gaming. We are looking at our free play map and the northern half of the map and wondering what's going on down here at our station. Down here in Gilbert, we've got a train leaving with after emptying its stone, and we've got another train that should be loading, and it is, and it's loading slowly because we're on 1x speed. Let's take a quick peek at this train and see if we can help speed that along a little bit. Flat car with side stakes. And are we on the red one already? The 50-mile-an-hour one? I think we might be. So this is already at the maximum loading speed. Let's take a closer look at our train and verify that that's what we have. And they hold 12 each. Right, because this is only 7 each, so this must already be the maximum that it can do. Alright. Well, the focus of today's episode, so that we don't get too distracted, is to finish hooking up Corpus Christi to Bellevue and Tampa. And what we're going to do is we're going to run Corpus Christi to Bellevue, Bellevue to Tampa, because Tampa and Bellevue both want tools, so that'll eventually allow us to do a freight line between the two cities. And for now, we're going to just do another passenger line. Let's look at our Corpus Christi hub. We've got a lot of people lining up on this train station. So that's wonderful to have. And I don't think I've built any covers for anybody. Or actually, no, I have built covers. So it makes it a little bit harder to see all of our passengers waiting for the trains. That's just fun. Alright, so which terminals are in use right now from the passenger perspective are 1, 2, 4, and 5. That leaves us with terminal number 3, 1, 2, and 3 right here, that we can use to send over to Bellevue. To Bellevue. So, we've got multiple vehicles, very poor. That's okay. We're going to live with it for now. We are going to build out a train line from terminal number 3. And we're going to have to figure out how we're going to cross it over these tracks. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and hook that up so that we can send in a train from the station. And we'll want to go ahead and split it off as soon as possible. And figure out what exactly is our direction over to Bellevue. I think we're going to come into Bellevue through this gap here. Alright. So having said all that, I don't think we actually need to worry too much about how we cross over the train line, because we're going to kind of shoot for that gap right there. And we don't need to worry about any of these being double slip switches, but I'm going to make them so anyway, just in case we need to monkey around with these lines sometime in the future. Let's go ahead and set up a signal, as we want this train to wait patiently. And we're going to go ahead and tell this train to wait patiently for the other line to go through. Alright, and then now into Bellevue. We're going to go through this pass. And then continue basically straight. And then when we get over here, we need to figure out how exactly we're going to go into Bellevue itself. Let's make sure we get this correct. looking at Bellevue, we have our industry or commercial over here, industry over here, and residential. So unfortunately, we're not really going to be able to stick a train station right here and not have some emissions issues into this residential area. But we're going to try to put it outside of town a little bit and then encourage growth that way via some trams or buses. So let's go ahead and build ourselves a passenger station with 2 lines, high speed. And we'll build it over this way. And get rid of this layer so we can actually see what we're doing. And it's going to be a little expensive because it's kind of in this hill. But what I want to be able to do, you know what? I'm going to build it a little bit further down here and we'll hook it up with some tram lines and whatnot. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this train goes to the right terminal. Perfect. And then this train is going to come all the way around this curve and tie in. And we'll go ahead and say wait here for the train to leave the station. All right, so let's get this line set up. That's going to be Bellevue CC PAX train. All right, and there's no reason to build a train on it yet because we don't have any connections here whatsoever. But I am expecting us to need 1 connection per side, an electric and a 30 meter. But again, we have to go in and do a little bit of construction on this train station because even though we have said we want it to be nice and substantial, the game won't do that on its own. We'll set it up like this. We'll set up our street access going out this way, and we'll set up our streets with medium city streets, large electric streets, and then we'll do some upgrading. So the main drag, let's make sure this has electric, and it does. And it does. Alright, so how are we going to look at Bellevue? We're going to make Bellevue, we're going to go around and around, and we want to come down this way a little bit further actually because we want to encourage growth in that direction. I'm sorry, but your house must be removed in the name of progress. All right, let's go ahead and put in our, let's go ahead and put in our tram station. And it's going to be right here off of the, right by the rail station without actually blocking it. And we'll put in our bus stops. So we'll have one here. We'll have one out here. And one over here, And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and create the little streets to try and encourage more usage of the tram stop here. Yeah. And that way we can hopefully try to get more people to come out in this direction. Alright, so we're going to start with one tram in one direction. And that will be Bellevue tram clockwise. And let's go ahead and buy a couple of vehicles. We have the new Wits. They're a little slower. They carry fewer people, but they are way, way quieter. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with the quieter option for now. And again, we have an issue with the connection because something's not upgraded correctly. Oh, because I'm an idiot. And I built this as a cargo station. When it needs to be a passenger station, obviously. Some days, guys, some days. Okay, so now that we've got the tram line running, let's go ahead and get our train, since we've got a little cash right now. We have a new Igorov 20. It holds 20 people, 62 miles an hour. It's a teeny bit quieter and a teeny bit bigger, but the Suburban does have a 4x loading speed, which is significant, and it's cheaper. So we're going to keep with that option, and we'll keep going with the Russian S for now, since the limiting factor is the speed of the cars, not the engine. And that's 6 points. And we'll do Bellevue CC Pax train. And there's only one for now, so I'm not going to worry about the signaling quite yet. But let's go ahead and go. And let's see if people will start lining up for this train or using these trams, which admittedly do not run through the heart of the city. And that is because we cover all the parts of the city with our different stops, but we do not run through the heart of the city. And while we have some money coming in, I'm going to go ahead and invest into our connection over to Tampa in the corner. This station is going to get a couple of lines more, plus a or one more line plus a cargo station, because we want to be able to move the tools around from what we construct over here down to here. Alright, so Tampa, teeny tiny little town, 69 residents, barely any growth in the history, mostly because they have nowhere that they can get to. They can get to Tampa by themselves. Washington, D.C. is a long drive away. Bellevue is still a long drive away. So let's go ahead and try to give them something to do. Now, they've kind of started building residential on both sides and kind of have done the industrial and commercial along this center road. This factory is going to be our tie-in point, so I would prefer with one track, because we're going to go ahead and make it a, pause, and let's find out what's going on here. Uh-oh, 2 trains dead. Oh, do we not have a signal down here to explain what you guys are supposed to be doing? There. Wait. And you can go, and I don't know why that's even an issue, because these two trains are completely different paths. And Gilbert Construction has, that one can carry 36. Corpus Christi Construction can carry 60 and has that path to go over that way. Oh, I see why. It's because the stopping signal is too far back. I get it. It was a remnant from before. This train's actually bigger than it needs to be, so let's go ahead and cut a couple cars off and get some money back and reduce our operating costs. Okay, having fixed all that, let's get back up here to Tampa. We're going to put in a... Shush. We're going to put in a passenger terminus station, high-speed catenary, one line. Because I have to be way over there to be able to take advantage of that. Maybe I don't, but let's spin around ourselves. Kind of look at where Bellevue is. Bellevue's more in that direction. And we're going to go ahead and put in our station. And the reason I said maybe we don't need to be that far or that close to it is, you know, for instance, that road now touches both of these locations. And so, yes, this is now connected to this station via this road. However, I'm going to go ahead and delete that road temporarily because we want to make this a little nicer. And then we want to put a cargo building because that's eventually going to be a thing. That's the problem with terminus stations that I have found, is that it kind of limits your creativity a little bit. Let's see if I put in, and now we're just kind of playing around, okay? So don't expect anything to look good right now. I'm literally trying to see if there's a way that I can squeeze now a cargo building onto this frontage, which I can. And then that'll be perfect, because now when I connect up this street to this cargo building, we will be connected. That's perfect. And then this side we will connect with a passenger stop. And we're going to get rid of this silly road. That doesn't do us any good. We go large streets and electric. And we're going to kind of shove some of these streets out of the way. Oof, that was way further than I wanted. Yeah, no, we're going to just run straight down the center of Tampa. We're going to try to pick everybody up from, you know, a stop right there. And we're going to put in our tram depot, which can kind of parallel the train right now, because we're not going to go anywhere with the train widthwise. So we're going to go here to here. This is going to be just Tampa tram. And I just like trams more than I like buses, so we only need one for this. It's a teeny tiny town. And now we will have the ability to bring in resources via this cargo platform. We'll have 2 tracks on either side. One will be delivering the planks, and one will be shipping out the tools. And this is connected to this, but not connected to this. So if I wanted to, I could add street access. And I think now that's connected. And then this one I could add on a cargo platform. Because now theoretically we can put a truck drop off for Tampa's tool demand down here, even past the bus stop or past the tram stop, and then we could have that working. So first off, let's get this train line going. We're going to go ahead and do high-speed tracks in a straight line, and then we're going to split off as soon as possible and stick a one-way wait right there. All right, now Bellevue. Well, I did kind of bury Bellevue's station in a hill, so that probably wasn't my brightest idea. Okay, so now I am in the right-hand side. Let's spin around and zoom out a little bit. They're actually pretty close. Oh, angled left when I meant angled right. And this is the leftmost track. $5.12, that's not too shabby. And let's grab the track from the other side. All right, that connection now exists between Bellevue and Tampa. And it looks like things are using the correct side, using the correct terminal. And for now, let's go ahead and get our weight. And it's going to take a while, but I think it'll be best not to go ahead and build another. Actually, no, I take that back, because we are planning on doing some expanding down here with the logs to planks, planks to tools. We are going to want a train depot down in this direction to make it easier on ourselves to eventually bring in another train. So that's actually going to go really well right over here. And let's finish configuring this so that we have both of our cargo lines working, or available, I guess. and then from there we can build out our track just a little bit. And then this track is actually going to split. I'm going to split it this way, and then both of these are going to connect up to the parallel track. And I'll go ahead and make that a double slip, even though it really doesn't need it. We'll have a one-way over here and a one-way leaving, so that this train no, here meant to only cut the signal, not the whole track. I take that back. We want our one-way to wait over here by this station and to wait over here in case there's a passenger train running. Alright, and then in so doing, let's go ahead and get this line kind of going that way. This is going to be our logs, our plank line, so we're going to go ahead and create it this direction. Nope, didn't work. I was hoping that doing that would let me make these into double slips, but it did not. So we're gonna go ahead and lay out this line. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to go ahead and just set up two lines coming out of this station. The first one will do what we had just tried, which is go straight across. Yep, neither of those are double slipped. And then the second one will hopefully do that and will double slip. There we go, perfect. So for our vehicles, we want Russian S-Class and 1, 2, 3 Suburbans. And that's going to go to Tampa Bellevue. Which is perfect because we don't want it to use this quote unquote dual use station. And then we've got ourselves a passenger airplane, I think. Then what we want is these to go to here, to go to here. So we're going to build ourselves a cargo station with 2 tracks, high speed, catenary. And we'll go ahead and take advantage of the fact that it connects pretty well already. And we will build our tracks with 126. We'll do it for cheap. As cheap as we can. And then over here we will have our crossover. And then we need to get to our forest, which is right over here. And our forest is going to be a end station because we don't really need it to be anything but an end station. The only thing we're going to do is we're going to spin around and we're going to look over here to make sure we can aim it as best as we can. And so our tracks are going to leave this station. Yeah, actually we're gonna have it be there because it's gonna want to come back from the from dropping off planks, I think. I am going to double check that real quick. After we attach, oh, construction not possible. Where did we all go wrong? Oh, did I not start the parallel track first? Yeah, start the parallel track before you can match it up. And then establish your crossover here as well. Okay, so we're going to have a line that's going to go from logs to planks. Now this is going to be Bellevue logs to mill. Then we're going to have another line from the mill. So Tampa planks to tools. And then our tool factory is going to have a drop-off point right there. And this will be Tampa tool delivery. And we'll need to build ourselves a road depot for it, which should not be an issue. And here's where we are going to run into a bit of a problem. We spent quite a bit of money building out this infrastructure, but we don't have the trains for it yet. So we know that the we know that the flat car with side stays can do either one. The reason I split this lineup is because we need a 2-to-1 ratio of logs to planks. So I'm going to try to do 2 trains on this section and 1 train on this section, both of which we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we don't have steam yet. These can only do 50, so there's no reason to buy anything that can do faster than 50. JF1 looks good for 4.1, but if I'm willing to shave a few miles an hour, the SCH mediocre and good. But I gotta buy 2 of them, and this is already almost more than I can afford. And how much am I saving? About 800,000. I don't think that's worth it. I think we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Buy one, get it going on the logs to mill line right now. And we'll need to buy another one. Let's see if we can borrow enough money for it. No, we shouldn't be able to. We're awfully close. Oh yeah, we can. So that'll be Tampa planks to tools. That way we can build up some demand on this line. We do need to, well, for now, there's only 1 train. We're not going to bother with signaling because that costs money. We are finally getting some passengers. Tampa now has access to a lot more destinations, almost all of which they have to take our train for. And so we should see a nice spike in population. Same with Bellevue. Well, Bellevue's not generating that same sort of excitement yet to get over to Corpus Christi. Nobody wants to go to Corpus. Kind of surprised by that. Maybe it's because my... No, I'm covering the whole city. It's just not considering it as part of the... Are these two no longer connected? That's gotta be it. There's no way there's that little demand right now. And all because, if you guys remember just a few minutes ago, I built the wrong type of station and it has a different spacing. Yeah, look at that. It has a different spacing than what I needed. That should fix that, and now we should get a lot of demand over here. Now that we have connected Bellevue to everywhere again. That's unfortunate because we wasted a lot of money not transporting people out of Bellevue. What I am going to say is the nice thing is we managed to catch it before we got super far down the road and had major issues. Now, I am going to build out one more line, but this is going to be a cargo platform because we are expecting tool production soon. And we are going to want to be able to take advantage of that from this side. Alright, are we starting to see any production? We are. And we're almost to the point where we can buy a second one of these trains. And then start making them bigger. And somehow I forgot to create a Tampa tool delivery truck. Because now that we've got some production, we need to actually send it out. We'll tell them to wait over here, such that at least you can get some on board before you leave. Alright, we're finally starting to make some progress here. And we're going to go ahead and clone that vehicle. And now that we have multiple trains running, we are going to need to put in some signaling before we wait too long. Just in case we decide to do a few more trains along this route. Well, 6 is a start, and 24 is a much better start. That's wonderful. The Zurich. I wonder if the Zurich... We're going to go down here to our water route. I wonder if the Zurich is a small boat. What do we currently have on this passenger ship line? We have one of my Schaffhausens, which is 130 at 20 miles an hour. This is 150 at 20 miles an hour, so it's a little faster. It's a little bit more expensive to run. Do we have the demand on this line to justify that? No, we have 6 people on this end, and we have 2 people on that end. And part of it is, I'm sure, that it doesn't run that frequently. It takes 22 minutes. It's probably faster to actually take the train or take the bus. Is that what that is? Yeah, take the bus from Frisco to Gilbert and then hop the train from Gilbert to Nashville than it is to take this very slow boat. We'll have to think about that one. This one may be deserving of its own passenger train line as well. Now that we've been able to see some demand here in Gilbert, or in Frisco, I'm sorry. They're saying that the Frisco stations are bad or mediocre, which is actually the lowest score I've ever seen for stations, given that I do cover the whole town a lot, like almost too much. I don't understand why they say that my station usage is so bad. I'm gonna hit the nope. Let's see. Yeah, I don't understand it. I've got pretty darn good coverage of the entire town. I mean, unless they're saying that the bus stop is... yeah. Okay. Well, we'll come back to that. And actually, we're going to pause the game here to take care of that. All right. The Gilbert train station already has 2 terminals, both in full use. This is a stone terminus station, a cargo terminus station. I could turn that into, delete this one, move it over here, have one line for stone, and then a bypass line or 2 for passenger traffic from Frisco up to Gilbert, and we would establish another Gilbert line. That might make a lot of use of this existing track, which is already really busy because of this construction plan right here. It's really busy, so I wouldn't want to run it along that. I might have to go dip it around this side of the train depot, which would be ugly but doable. And Frisco has a lot of people who want to go to Gilbert. Well, not a lot, just a lot of people waiting to go to Gilbert. Okay, Well, this episode has already gone on for 40 plus minutes, which makes it one of my longer ones in general. We are going to pay down before we end the episode 10 million of it. We are bringing in cash. So we're going to leave it here. We're going to talk a little bit further about we need to establish our Tampa Bay, or I'm sorry, Tampa Bay, our Tampa to Bellevue tools line. Now that we've got some production of tools here, and then a delivery system from Bellevue into town, and potentially even running it all the way to Corpus Christi over to Salinas, but that's a long way off. And then we need to talk about what we're going to do with trains in this direction from Frisco to Gilbert. Keeping in mind that we have a Washington or Corpus to Independence high-speed rail that we're eventually going to do. It'll probably have to go over and under and through the woods and all that other fun stuff to get down there. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Transport Fever 2 with me at CasualT Gaming. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Please comment, like, subscribe. I'm sure you guys know by now that you should hit the notification bell so that you are alerted whenever I post a new video. But until next time, take care.